everyone, this is Neil with Wasted Paper here, bringing you another review of a fountain pen Revolution pen. This is called the Jaipur V2. Kevin, the owner of Fountain Pen Revolution, I actually reached out to him with my last review, and he ended up giving me this pen to review. He also included an ink bottle, which I will be inking it up with. Inside of this card that comes with all their pens, it's going to have your instructions on how to fill ink, how to use a piston, how to use a converter. This was in my last one, and I'm sure they include it with every one. Here is also their statement and their socials. Right off the bat, the first thing I notice is the weight. This pen's extremely lightweight. This weighs nothing. Granted, right now it's not inked up, but I almost feel like no weight. The resin on here, just like my last one, has tons of chatoyance. And I'm sure you can tell right there specifically. It's really nice how they get this effect on all their pens. I'm noticing also it's slightly translucent. Right here you can see the threads. Let's see if when I uncap it you can see the nib. Ever so slightly you can see that nib going in there. When looking at the top, you have a pointed finial, but it is rounded at the top. It's not sharp at all. And on the back, you have that same look. It is a bit more rounded here versus the pointed end on this, but neither are sharp or anything like that. The clip itself is really easy to actuate. It's super lightweight. There is a cap band on here with their initials for Fountain Pen Revolution. And then you have your black end cap band right here because this is a piston filler. When looking at the nib this time, it's another flex nib from them, but this is their Ultra Flex. I'll get a picture of my other one so you can see right here. But mine, the main difference is this right here. They cut this out to give it more of a fin look on these tines, but it should allow it to flex a lot more. Just barely any pressure with my hand. You can see it's flexing already. I also want to call out the feet again. It is ebonite and it is massive like it was last time. I'm curious if it's like this on all their pens or if it's unique to just the flex nibs, but last time I had this and I had no issue keeping up with any ink flow at all. It has a pretty sizable grip. There's a slight curve rounding at the end, and you can tell right here to keep your hands from sliding all the way forward. This is smooth, but it's not slippery feeling at all. But I like a substantial grip section, and this has it. The threads right here are super rounded, and you can kind of even see it in the video how rounded those are. No sharp edges at all. It feels really smooth, and you can barely tell that you're on threads right there. There's a blind cap here that you unscrew to get to your piston knob, and you just spin this to actuate the piston. For inking, we're going to be using the Mardi Gras ink. This is an ink they included that they sent me. They do have a few selections of inks on there. I asked specifically, if possible, for a sheening ink, because with the flex nib, I really want to be able to show off what this can do and what it can show. For paper, I'm going to go with my clear Fontaine paper. This is a white, solid white paper that's clear with no dots or anything. I really want to try to show off the flex and the ink on this one. I'm not an extra fine person, but this doesn't feel sharp at all. And since it's got so much bounce and flex, I mean, realistically, you don't really feel like it's an extra fine, which is good for me. Now I want to kind of try to show off a little bit of the flex. I'm going to write my go-to word, which is home. I'm going to write this a little bigger too to see if I can show it even more. My lines were a little shaky this go around, but look at that. That's crazy. That's so much flex on there. I really like that. And it's super easy to flex. Like, this takes no pressure. Let me show you some lines where I'm doing no pressure versus pressure. It takes literally nothing to flex this pen. So absolute lightest pressure possible versus a little bit more, and then even more. I mean, that's pretty good line variation. You could do a lot of things with this. And it, even when I'm at this maximum level that I feel comfortable pushing, it's not even hard. I'm not even pushing that hard. This nib really wants to flex. I'll try to get it up close so you can see it even more too. It bounces so easily on this paper. I would like to show more of this ink off, so what I'm going to do is grab a brush here and kind of draw a little bit, write a little bit, and see how it looks after, so you can really see the sheen. look at this. I know it's green, but I definitely get like a gold vibe. Where it's still saturated right there, you have a lot of effect. But on all the flex writing, you can see it. Great. And even on my normal writing where I wasn't flexing, you still see it. If you want an ink that sheens and is this color, I mean, it's really good at it, honestly. You can see it even on my finest writing to like the boldest for sure. For size comparison, I have the Lamy Safari, and I actually grabbed the Leonardo Memento Magico. It's a little bit smaller than the Memento Zero Grande, so I thought it'd be more similar in size. As you can see, it's actually slightly bigger than the Safari, not by much, and then the Memento Magico is definitely longer, but it's mostly from the finial point on the back cap, where this back section is a bit longer. The Jaipur and the Magico are super close. Honestly, it's almost identical, I would say, once they're uncapped, and then the Safari is slightly smaller, so you can get an idea of that. Looking at them capped again, very, very similar in length to the Magico, and then it's slightly longer than the Safari, still kind of at the back end here. It makes it just slightly longer going the other direction. Before I finish this video, let's talk price. So retail for this pen is $55. I have seen it on sale. They do sales every now and again on their site for holidays and whatnot. It does look like there is options to get engraving on some of their pens, which is actually something I may look into because I saw they have this in a white acrylic resin. I'm a really big fan of white resins, for those of you that don't know. I have the Kaweco Sport I did a review on a while back, or the Art Sport. I love white resins. They're something that just speaks to me. I really, really like them. And they work so well with almost every color that you could possibly think to put in them. Where do I stand on this pen, though, compared to the last one I got? It's pretty close. I would say they're definitely similar. It's more or less the design you're looking for, and then if you want a piston filler. I definitely prefer pistons more, so I give more points to this one for that. But I like the cigar shape of this one more. It's just really nice, and I think I got lucky with this like blue cap on here. I just think that looks really, really good. But this one is a great pen, and I think if you want a piston filler that's affordable, this is such a great route to go, and it works great. I will say I like the Ultra Flex more than the Steel Flex. They're both good. There is an upcharge for this Ultra Flex, but they're both good. This one just, it's so bouncy. I think, and I'm going to confirm this, but I believe they have a gold version of this, the Flex Nib, and if they do, that's something I may have to look into next, because I'm just really a fan of this, and it's actually really fun to use this, and I look forward to doing some more fancy writing and some maybe YouTube shorts with this nib going forward. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below.